It really doesn't bother me. I think
it has to bother you.
No. I feel like, again, I said it last year, and I think I took the higher road last year. I didn't say much, but I'm more upset, because everybody was more excited about the situation than I was. The Hall of Fame and what it represents, for me, I think it's fallen short of that. Last year, okay, you slapped me on the wrist. I didn't get in. This year, again, I should have been a lock.
After getting snubbed by the Hall of Fame for a second straight year, Terrell Owens has taken matters into his own hands. Owens may have to wait at least another year to officially make his way to Canton, but he's not waiting around on the gold jacket given to Hall of Famers. This, according to the New York Daily News' Gary Myers, who heard it from a Hall of Fame player who saw Owens in Los Angeles carrying a shopping bag. In that bag, you ask, a custom-made gold jacket. T.O. telling the Hall of Famer that he had his career stats put on the back of that jacket. Mr. Smith, like, love, or hate this?
I hate it. I don't like it one bit. T.O.'s personality, his people disliking him should have no bearing whatsoever on the greatness he displayed on the field.
Of course.
The 15,934 career yards, the 153 career touchdowns, to multiple categories in which he finished anywhere from top 3 to top 5 in NFL history should speak for itself and cement him as a Hall of Famer. He should have been first ballot. He should have been second ballot. He should be inducted next year. It's highway robbery. And I've even gone as far as to say that if he doesn't get in, neither should Randy Moss. And we all know Randy Moss should be in the Hall of Fame. Having said all of that, here's what I don't like about this, and it's personal for me in this regard. I know T.O. T.O. is sensitive. T.O. can be a brat. T.O. is a very good guy. T.O. is not a bad person at all. He's a bit emotional. He's touched in that regard. You watch some of his reality TV shows and the interviews from the past and the things that he went through. Your father living right across the street and never acknowledged you as his own son, for crying out loud and stuff like that. Could you imagine what a profound impact that could have on a kid, and the level of insecurities that can ultimately lend itself towards you having throughout your life? I'm not telling his personal business. I'm echoing what he told to the world about his personal business, because I would never reveal that stuff if he didn't say so on national television. Having said all of that, knowing that that is your reality, okay, and knowing that the residue from those emotions, which led to you having the personality that you have, ultimately greatly assisted in you being ostracized, at least for the time being, from the Hall of Fame. Why do something that will remind everybody of that exact attitude? For what? Why do it? What purpose does that serve? Yeah, ultimately you're highlighting how you're getting screwed over, but we're all doing that. If everyone was silent, I could understand, Max. The problem is you've spoken up on his behalf. I've spoken up on his behalf. Will Barn and so many others, different networks. Anyone who knows anything about football has spoken up on behalf of T.O. Sports Nation had him on his show based on that highlight we just saw, where they're talking about, everyone knows. Why do that? Because in the end, all it does is remind folks of what a problem you were perceived as being. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's fair to him, but I don't think he helped himself.
I want folks to be reminded that he was a pain in the butt sometimes. Good. Remind yourself. Remind yourself, because I love this. And you can eat it and like it when you vote him into the Hall of Fame, where he will assuredly reside. I mean, T.O. will make it to the Hall of Fame one day, whether the haters like it or not. Think about, you said about put the stats on the back of his jacket. All-time touchdown receptions. He's third. Who's ahead of him? We all know the
Moss
names.
and Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice won, Randy Moss two. T.O.
And Randy Moss only by 3.
And by the way, that might be the all-time list of receivers in order.
Yeah.
Jerry Rice 1, Randy Moss 2, T.O. 3. How about in yards, total yards? Jerry Rice 1, he's the godfather. I mean, he's the other two. T.O. 2, Randy Moss 3. All time. You don't put him in the Hall of Fame on the first vote, fine. You want to make a stupid point, go make your stupid point. You don't want to put him in on the second vote? Okay. Maybe you don't put him on the third vote. Maybe this hurts his chances, Stephen A. But one day those haters are going to have to swallow it. They're going to have to do it. They're going to have to vote or they lose credibility. The Hall of Fame loses credibility if you don't put Terrell Owens in. As I've been saying, there are tough calls. There are borderline cases. Borderline TD made it in this year, and I'm very happy for him. Clearly a Hall of Fame talent. Obviously on his way to a Hall of Fame career. It was tragically cut short by injury. Okay, he got in. I'm happy for him. I don't know that I would have voted because they're borderline cases. This is not a borderline case. So I love the fact that T.O. said, oh, you don't like that? Watch this. I'm going to put on the back of my jacket exactly the argument for me to be in black and white, and the haters don't have to like it, but they're going to have to vote me in eventually, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And by the way, when they vote him in, I hope it feels bad for them. I hope they have a really bad feeling when they do it.
First of all, they've already lost credibility. They're not going to lose it. They've already lost it. He should have been in already. He should have been in already. That's number one. But number two, whereas I respect your point, what I would venture to say to you, Max Kellerman, is you're thinking about Terrell Owens, the football player. I'm thinking about T.O., the person that has to go on with the rest of his life, that is looking to do other things and things that transcend the sport of football, but ultimately also things that could allow one to be a part of the NFL. Mm-hmm. T.O. is actually very, very smart. He knows the game of football. Yeah. There's a lot that he could give to the game, to somebody's staff, et cetera, et cetera. You never, ever know what kind of future opportunities may be available to you that you're shutting the doors on because you're reminding someone of the kind of attitude you have. Again, I don't think it's fair, but I do think it's the upward battle that he is confronted by. And when you want to be oblivious to that, just because you have this insatiable need to express yourself, that's where I think it becomes a bit difficult to stomach. It's not right, but it's T.O.'s reality. It's T.O.'s reality. And you know, Donovan McNabb said it best. This is the Donovan McNabb that works for this network now. This is the Donovan McNabb that will be a nominee for the Hall of Fame because of his great years in Philadelphia. This is the Donovan McNabb that was the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles when he and T.O. went to the Super Bowl together as teammates, who did not like T.O. a lot of times. Donovan McNabb conceded T.O. needs to be in the Hall of Fame. He deserves it. But he also said that T.O., chill out. You don't need to bring this added extra attention to yourself.
You're right, and Donovan McNabb's right. By the way, McNabb and Parcells and those who would know best acknowledge difficulties with T.O. at times, and they're the ones who say he's still a Hall of Famer. How dare the voters who know much less about him and have been exposed to him less then override the... Okay, fine. And by the way, to look past those numbers is ridiculous. This is what bothers me the most about it. Even though you're probably right, it would be wiser for him not to. But boy, this feels good as someone who knows T.O. belongs in. They're taking a swing, the voters at T.O., in a way that he really can't swing back. I mean, you know how you swing back, you say, you know what, the hell with the Hall of Fame, I don't need it. But you can't turn down the Hall of Fame. Yeah. The Hall of Fame is unturndownable. So you have to just sit there and eat it. And for once, a guy's like, or maybe not for once, we showed Chad Ochocinco, and he wasn't T.O., a guy is saying, you know what, I'm not just going to eat it, I'm swinging back. Check out the stats.
It's just a jacket, and I can get my own. Speaking of which, you know what I really want to know on a much lighter note? When's he going to bust out the jacket? When are we going to actually see him wear it? Interesting to see that debut.